Okay, continuing to backtest. Actually, should I backtest gold and silver? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So, the same idea continues. External, like, internal range liquidity to external range liquidity. With the idea of the internal range liquidity being some type of fair value gap to continue higher, and then I look for confirmation entry from my high time frame POI. Going to skip to London. And let's have split screen for gold and silver, because they tend to move the same direction, but sometimes silver looks cleaner, sometimes gold looks cleaner. That's what I realized. For example, this could have been a POI from which we would have shot higher, but obviously we don't have any type of rejection away from here, so in that case there's just a trade that, or an opportunity that never kind of presents itself. But yeah, I cannot really see for our fair value gaps here too much. Even this one got flipped here, so I would go New York. We're now rejecting this small one. With gold, there isn't fair value gap though, but in our there is like very obvious one, so maybe I could execute this. We're kind of chopping, right? But no, I don't think I will execute this, because if you're looking at this, we are rebalancing away from here, and this is looking bullish for me. So I won't take it. Maybe if you get like super convincing breakout structure and then like additional breakout structure in 1 minute here, maybe that could be a case in which possibility to take the entry could happen. Like for example, now we come to this area very choppy. If we now break structure to the downside, could be possible to take the trade. I don't like this. And yeah, I don't think this area will hold, because we're kind of showing bullishness. This is a situation where we swept the low, now we could try towards the high easily. So we need to see like a shift. Let's see what silver looks like. Well, silver has this gap unmitigated. That could be still driven towards, but we're clearly pushing now already higher, so I don't think that does like necessarily have to happen, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I will consider this as an opportunity to take a setup. Okay, so not a good sign when price kind of leaves, fails to break some of these highs. Not very good sign. And this is what I like to do with this strategy. I like to be fairly like aggressive with my risk management. So for example, in this kind of case, I would close 50%, move my stop up here. So we are risking probably around $300 right now, and if it wants to move towards my stop, then it can do that. And now at this point we have closed way too far down. Look at this body candle closes. I will close the rest of the position, break even. And yeah, basically no gain there. You see what would have happened here. Now we kind of chop around and then the real entry happens, but I don't really know how to get into this. I mean, I do know, but I would need to retrace fairly large amount, which gold can do because it's so volatile. So it could like wick down here. I'm not gonna lie, but you can see that doesn't happen. So it is what it is. I was correct with my directional bias, but gold is sometimes gold manipulates such a high frequency and level that I just have to take the setup that I see and manage it like aggressively if I start seeing like negative signs. Because that had I just held that, it would have wicked me out and then ran. Obviously, if I had my stop here, everything would have been fine. But you know, this is what gold does sometimes, and that's why I like it, because it can move a huge amount of pips with single moves. But also, this is why I also don't like it that much, because the manipulation can be quite like large. So it ran that high. Silver swept that high. So that's massive SMT, but I don't know if is that like important. Let's just look for like a 4-hour fair value gap. So no, we don't have any. 1 hourly here, so I mean that doesn't really mean much. I would skip to New York because this doesn't look good. Okay, liquidate these lows. Previous day low, now we are in daily fair value gap from which we could reject back higher. I do agree. We need to see a clean break of structure, which we are clearly not going to get. Now this is like end of the session, and yeah, you could deem this as a break of structure. Maybe you could take this, I don't know. But this is like a little bit odd setup, and I wouldn't, even if I was like sure that this is going to run, I wouldn't take this because of the wrong timing. But the break of structure doesn't really invite me to get into longs anyway. But and this could therefore just continue to drop. I don't really know. I'm sure we have a new fair value gap in bearish range here. So maybe like okay, silver is much further up here. So maybe the case could be that silver wants to mitigate towards and run towards these areas. I don't really know, but what day is it? Wednesday. So the weekly candle is kind of dojing right now. Monday opens, runs higher, push lower. Okay, so this is possibly going to be a bearish week for me, but obviously we could run higher considering the fact that that high got swept with such a low margin. So I will be monitoring for a 50-minute break of structure in this area though. If something like that is going to happen, I will be considering the trades also. So how about this? Well, the fair value gap happens within one candle, and the other candles don't really invite me. But let's scale down to 1 minute and see what we can have. So 1 minute structure is horrendous. We kind of end up dropping, which is good sign. I mean, which is what we wanted to see, but I cannot take this one. The drop happens with such like choppy candles, and this would have been the gold trade here really. So maybe I should still try to get in, because this would still provide. Okay, so now I was a little bit too fixated on the silver. I should have executed this gold trade which could still end up losing, but at least I would have been in it. Okay, I took it. Problem here is that, okay, we are probably going to get stopped out here. I'm going to close there. So the problem was that I should have entered here, in which case I probably would have dragged my stop loss above that high when we kind of start to, like when we built this structural point here. Yeah, that was a little bit badly managed, I'm not gonna lie. London, let's go to New York. I don't really care about this shit. Next day, I wanna be like trading inside of a like some type of Ferrari gap. We are not really having none of that shit, you know what I'm saying? Well, this is quite a clear draw for price. So let's see if we can have like a lower time frame entry idea to work here. Possibly not going to happen because we're so close to that. We could just like melt towards the area, but let's see. I will hope that we liquidate that high, mitigate that fair value gap, and then run lower. That would be my ideal situation. Okay, we have tapped there. Price is not really okay, so we disrespect this area totally. Gold continuing to manipulate the markets. Would this work out still? I want to wait for the hourly candle to close. So we close like this. This is quite good close if you are trying to look for a reversal candle, meaning that this is a doji that could drive price towards our target. But because I'm still hesitant, I will wait for a possible 1 minute confirmation, because price is just chopping right now, like very unconvincingly. Okay, this one, I like this movement now. So if price wants to I don't know, but you know, I've been looking for so many different confirmations here that just tells me that I'm still not 100% convinced that this will play out. So which means that I will only risk 1%, sorry, 0.5% here, and market just ends up climbing higher. So this is the manipulation that gold does, man. Look, I don't really know. I don't care. I'm going to London. This is bad action. Market doesn't want to sweep none of those areas that I marked out here. In this case, I would want to sweep that high and run towards this high. Silver has taken that low. Actually, it hasn't. Same idea here though. So that low gets swept on silver. This would be super aggressive entry, but try to target a trade. Looking something like this will work out. Okay, so the reason that this didn't work out is probably because gold hadn't met the target there. And so look, the idea kind of works here, but we just end up dropping much further down. And I clearly should have waited for like M15 structure shift, which kind of is happening now. So I would try to catch on new trade here. I will do this. I'll try to catch both of them with half the risk. And let's see where I end up. So gold gets mitigated. Okay, now this would have been break even because silver already took the target, so I should have closed it break even. And yeah. Chop chop. Shit, Marcus wants to build a little bit more sell side. But this is what gold like does often for me, like, and to me, like, I'm trying to get short when I see all this, and it just wants to go and manipulate once more before running out. It always does this shit, and then I just don't know where really when to enter, man. Like, what's the best point to enter at? No farewell gaps in 15 minutes. Doesn't really look good price action. And now look, we just sweep one of these internal lows and then move higher, which is totally fine. But it's just odd how market doesn't want to take that sell side. That's weird to me. This looks like it's willing to draw. I'm sorry, I can't take this. I need to see market coming down here and then yeah, no. I would want to see market coming up here. Okay, so you can see how big the manipulation leg higher is first before we move to the target that I was looking to take all the time. But the problem for me was in here that market just didn't take the target how I like want to see it take it. You know what I'm saying? What's happening here now? Yeah, I can't have anything here. Okay, so how would this work towards the highs? I would mark out the equilibrium of the range and see if 1 minute chart respects that. If not, then it's totally fine. But um, now the structure is a bit odd here. Still, we come quite close to the low here, but I guess this could work. Let's quickly reassess this. So basically, the idea is that we're rejecting from this for our gap. The rejection, although it happens quite late, like if the shift happened here already and then we just ran, that would be good. But we kind of consolidate here at first, so that's kind of making me hesitant. So I will actually take this with half the risk, because okay, I don't like this how it comes down. I will close it. Yeah, I just don't like the price action. Massive wick down. For me, this means that we've swept a lot of sell side. I'm willing to take risk here. Okay, it didn't work out either.